Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by. So for today's video, I am using the Kiwi Lane sketch that was for early September. I'm not sure exactly when. It was a challenge. I totally forgot about it and did it after the fact. So for the circle, I used a Cricut cut file, and I did cut the circle out of using my Cricut. And I am using the September Hip Kit Club kit to complete this layout. So I really love this house paper. It's so cute. It worked for what I wanted. I am happy with how it turned out. I'm just using regular white cardstock, and I believe it's from maybe Creative Memories or Stampin' Up. I actually Stampin' Up. I really love their cardstock. They're white because it's really white, and I like buying that. And I usually buy multiple packs at a time. So this blue and white paper, I end up cutting it to about 3.5 inches. And I'm going to do 2 pieces, one for each side of my page. And my circle will somehow lay up on there, on top of it. And I'm also going to cut out a strip that will turn out to be about 1.25 inches. And I believe I use this rainbowed paper. It's not really rainbow colors, but it works perfectly. So 1.5, or yeah, 1.5. I'm sorry, I did cut it to 1.5, and or 1.25. I'm sorry, 1.25, 1.25 strip. I cut 2 of them, and the next thing I'm going to do is I wanted to use a punch, which I haven't used in a very long time. So I end up using some black cardstock, and it's a not Creative Memories. It is a Recollections brand from Michaels, and it is a very, very old punch, and it's one of those fancy borders. So I apologize. I'm probably looking for it. Oh, there it is. And it's like a lace type trim or whatever. So I'm just looking in my scrap drawer for some black cardstock, which I end up not finding in my scraps. So anyway, as I'm looking for that, I will be using some Kiwi Lane templates for this layout. I don't end up using too many of them because I don't know. It just wasn't, they weren't speaking to me. I forgot that I was doing a Kiwi Lane challenge. And so I ended up only using, I think, 2 of the 2 templates, and we'll get to that shortly. So this green paper, I believe I cut to about 5 inches by like 8 inches, the one you just saw me. And there are my 2 black little borders that I used to use my punch with. So I inked my edges with the Hickory Smoke Distress Ink by Tim Holtz. I'm just gonna glue this down real quick, and I'm just gonna start building my layout from here. And I kind of work on both pages at the same time. I know it probably most people would do one page at a time, but I'm okay with working on both. So as you can tell, my black strip is not exactly 12 inches, but it's okay because most of it will be hidden behind the circle anyway. So I have no issues with half of it, or a piece of it being missing. I think that I used a 8x11 piece of cardstock to cut these borders out, and I did cut 2 of them out. Now I'm going to adhere my strip, And I'm going to do the same thing. This is my left page. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. And I think I struggle a little, so bear with me. The struggle was real with the keeping things straight, and there goes my head. So yeah, so as we continue on, this collection has a lot of different companies, which I really like, and I like that they all match. You know, they don't match perfectly, but they match enough that you can get some beautiful layouts made with these kits. And I'm trying to see if I find it. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna put my circle, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Cut it in half, rather. Alright, so most of these papers are from Jen Hadfield, and there's Dear Lizzie. There's also some Pink Fresh Studio paper. And I'm trying to see some of the other ones. There's an Amy Tangerine, which is the blue paper that's at the bottom of my page. And the house picture paper is actually a Jen Hadfield. This is Family. That's the paper collection that one's from. And the rainbowy paper, that one is by Dear Lizzie. So Hip Kit Club, I love them. Love all the embellishments that come with them. This particular set came with a stamp set from the Pink Fresh Studio Office Hours collection. And I still have a ton of stuff to use up. I mean, their kits are very, very loaded with goodies. So if you haven't checked them out, I will have a link in the description below. And I have nothing, this is, you know, nothing to do with them. I just buy their kits because I love them. So I've adhered my green paper down, and now I'm going to work on getting everything glued down. But then I feel like my green paper is too large. So I do end up, actually, no, I don't do it. I think I might cut it down a little bit from the top. Yes, I actually do cut it down a little bit. I realized that I went up too high, and you'll see me doing that with my scissors in a minute. So I'm going to line everything up right now, and I'm just trying to see where everything should go, and making sure everything is also pretty much even. And this layout, you'll notice, will come together pretty quickly. There really is not much more to it. The pictures that I will be using was from our family vacation, which there are the pictures, which I have already matted, and I did use a piece of pattern paper from the kit. The larger pictures are 4x6, and then I did print the smaller ones to 3x3. So I'm just going to adhere everything down and figure out where my placement of everything is going to be. And I think that about here is where I realized that that green paper. Oh, actually, I have already cut it down. So you didn't see me do that, but I did cut the green paper down from the top on the left page about, I'd say about an inch or maybe half an inch. because it was way too long, or too tall rather. So now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put in that right corner of the right page. And that's where I bring in the rings 2 template. And I'm going to use this blue scrap of paper. And I don't need a full on circle because it's going to be tucked behind. So it's okay that my paper is actually smaller than the template. So I'm going to cut my circle out. I will be inking my edges again with my hickory smoke. And this circle will be living over under my picture with my little doggies. So right about there, and I am going to have some embellishments that I will be placing there. And I wanted to use a stamp, and I am a horrible stamper. So, I'm just looking at the picture of the layout on my phone and trying to figure out if I want it to be closer to the green or further away. And I think I'm good with that. And I'm just going to find some ephemera now to start decorating my pages. So this ephemera pack is by Pretty Little Studios, and it is called Indian Summer, I believe. And so now I'm just playing with some of these ephemera pieces, and I do end up using both of those that you see there. And I know I use that little blue one that says "Home is where you are," and I was going to use those leaves and I end up not using them, but I do end up using this little flower cluster. Super cute. I love the very vibrant colors of everything in this kit. It's so pretty. So now I'm just searching for different items that I want to put on here. It has such cute stuff. I do use a little bird, and I was going to use that tea kettle, and then I decided not to. So at this point, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Oh, I think I'm looking at maybe a sticker pack. I don't know. You know, sometimes I make these layouts ahead of time and I record them, and then I don't do a voiceover on them for a couple weeks. By the time I do the voiceover, I know what I used. I know what I'm doing. I just don't remember the sequence of events, as well as the time passes. I guess things start to not be fresh in my mind anymore. So I'm just going to adhere everything down. I'm just using my Tombow Mono permanent adhesive. And I really love how all of this turned out. Like that little cluster there looks so cute. As you can see, I'm just going in and adding my ink. And I am about to adhere this down. And that's where it's going to live forever. So now I'm just looking at this sketch to see what else I can do. And it had this critter there, and that's where the bird is. But the critter was I guess it was a beaver or a bear. I don't know. I'm not really good with wilderness stuff. So I end up using some other things to fill in the space between the bird and the circle. I will be using Springtime 1T, and I will be cutting out a sentiment off of one of these cut-aparts, and I believe this is one of the Jen Hatfield ones. Actually, this page right here that has a whole bunch of different sentiments. The one I picked said family time, and I thought it was just perfect. It's right there above hooray. above my right hand or my right finger. Oh, there it is. And that's the one I'm going to pick. I'm tracing it out, and then I'm just going to go in with my scissors and cut it out. And that's the great thing about these templates, that you can go to a page like this that has so much stuff going on. There's so many different options that you can cut out, and you can zero in on what you want, and you know automatically if it's going to fit, if it doesn't fit, because they're see-through, and you know, it just makes things easier sometimes. So yep, so family time is getting glued down. I do believe I ink the edges. No, I don't ink the edges. I am just going to glue that down. That page is almost done. I decided to use this big flower cluster there above the pictures. And then I find a couple other small things. One of them is I actually use this happy place, and it's going to be part of my title, except I have no idea where it's going to go yet. And that's where that one's going to live. The happy place will end up on the left corner of my picture with the food, and that was one of our evening dinners. Everybody was there at this point except for my youngest son. He had to work and couldn't get off, so I think there was at one point like 12 or 13 of us. So, you know, meals were like, we had barbecued, we had grilled some steaks, and we had some shrimp, some grilled asparagus. We had some yummy, yummy stuff going on here. So there's where happy place is going to go. And I believe this is where I decide that I want to use this template. And I'm just trying to figure out where I want it to go. And I end up putting it under or above my left, the food picture. And it's basically going to be behind or like under that flower cluster that's there on your, that you see right there. And that's exactly where it's going to go. So I'm just going to trace it real quick, and as you can tell, this is a scrap piece, and I don't need a full cut. Oh geez, I can't even speak English. I don't need a full 6-inch cut out, so I'm just going to use what I need, and it turns out that this little scrap of paper worked perfectly. Do you ever have issues finding your words? I don't know why it seems to happen when I'm recording. I don't seem to have an issue finding my words in real life. Just when it's time to, when the record button's on and I just draw a big blank. So we're actually going to put this one, nope, right there. And that's exactly how it's going to go and where it's going to live. And I'm going to tuck it a little bit behind the flower cluster. And I wanted the yellow to peek through a little bit. And now I'm going to adhere it. And I do end up adding a little word sentiment that says good memories. So that will probably be happening pretty soon. Now I'm just looking it over, and you know, I still feel like there's stuff missing. Like it's very simple. I want to find something else for a title. So I'm going through my papers and just seeing what's there and if there's anything else I can cut apart. And I don't remember if I got the good memories from this paper. I may have. Oh, yes, I did. Right there. And so this paper, actually, I ended up using 2 sentiments off of it, which is great. And I'm just going to trim around the white and get rid of it so that you just see the orangey peachy color. Ink my edges and calling it almost done. So as you notice in this layout, I did not use any fun foam. I didn't use any pop dots. It is a pretty flat layout, and that's okay. I honestly, this day when I was crafting, I didn't reach for it. There's times where I reach for it a lot, and there's times that I don't use it at all. So I'm okay with a flat layout. So I'm just going to trim this little cut apart that was on one of the papers that they were like journaling notes. And I am going to do a little journaling, and that is going to live over by my little bird. And it's going to read, "Spending a week in Wildwood with those you love was priceless. So many memories made." At first I thought I was going to put it here, and I was like, I just kind of... And actually that didn't look bad up there by the green, but it does end up here. I feel like this little corner needs to be built out a bit, so it's going to live there. Right there. And I'm going to stick it down. And what else? And I think the only things that are missing are a couple finishing touches, which you'll see me do here. Enjoy the Little Things is a stamp, and I don't know if I do it on camera or not, but I do end up stamping using my Misty and then trimming it out off of a scrap paper because I was afraid to do it right on my layout. I will be using the word together from the kit, and it will go under the happy place. I do use some stuff from my stash, which you will probably see at the end when you get to my still pictures. Since we're almost at the end, I just want to say thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, share it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.